Normally I take the weekend's readings for my inspiration when preaching, but there's times, however, when there's a special pastoral concern or project that needs to be addressed, and this is one of those weekends, so hang on. When I came to St. Bernadette's, I arrived, of course, with my experience and insights, my strengths and my weaknesses, and of course, quickly I tried to get up to speed on the history of St. Bernadette and her strengths and weaknesses, and of course, her many projects, even big ones. And one big project I inherited was the Legacy campaign, which began, as I understand, back in 2017. This past November, some of the parish leadership encouraged me to rally our spirits to wrap up this campaign. Well, from the numbers displayed in the narthex, I think we're not doing bad at all. We have a little ways to go, but we're getting there. So I'd like to just review this three-phase, 4-year-old campaign. Some people brought some questions to me, and I was encouraged to address it. So, the good news is that phase 1 and phase 2 are finished. We are in the final phase. The bad news is that the final phase is bigger than the first two put together. So, but that's okay, because I think we've got this, especially since this third phase, consisting of the parking lot, was the top priority for parishioners, according to the survey results that set this campaign in motion. So just a brief review, just to help us refresh our memories. Phase 1 consisted of bringing our school building, now St. Bernadette Center, up to code by installing a fire alarm system, emergency lights, firewalls, a backup power source, and areas of refuge in case of an emergency. So our building was built in the 60s like they don't build them anymore. Solid and well worth saving. And that is what we did. And we can now use it for all sorts of things. Faith formation, funeral dinners, Bible studies, and of course, can even host and are hosting service organizations like the Thompson Center and the Richardson School, two associations that I think we can be very proud to sponsor. Cost of this phase was $151,000, covered by some grants, and of course by parishioner gifts totaling $83,000. That was the first phase. The second enabled us to install an up-to-code heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, HVAC for short, I learned. This ensures us that the air is good and the temperature is comfortable. Well, the air conditioning just covers the second floor occupied by the Thompson Center, but it's a good start. And the cost of that phase was $250,000, covered almost entirely by our community partners. In regard to the third phase, back in October, before this final push started, we had already collected $311,000. These gifts came in from memorials and special gifts over these past 3 years, but I do understand they were nearly all of our contributing families had a part in building up that initial sum. So I'm very grateful, and I thank you for that. I know that during this final ask, almost all of you are being asked to give again. According to our latest numbers, 144 of our 428 contributing families, 1/3, have given again during this final phase, bringing us up to where we are right now, $544,000. Thank you. According to my shorthand math, that's an average gift of $1,618. If the rest of our contributing families on average gave $1,600, we'd reach our $1 million goal. But let me step back for a moment to answer two concerns before I get to the heart of my homily. Yeah, I'm going to try to make a homily out of this, believe it or not. Number one, not every one of our contributing families is going to be able to give $1,600, and that's fine. They don't have to, because some will be giving more. For example, one couple gave a 5-figure gift and will be giving another 5-figure gift before this is all over. So that's some good news, right? I'm not saying that to flatter them, but to make a point. You see, there's one thing that they're really hoping for. I'm going to put their sentiments, as one of them expressed it, into my own words. She said, I want to see everyone take ownership in this project, our parking lot. This is our family, our church, our spiritual home. I want to experience a sense of solidarity in a common cause. I kind of respect that, and I think we all can. So I tried to join them. I made my relatively small gift of $3,000. I thought, I want to bleed financially with this woman and her husband in a good cause, you know? So to make this average gift of $1,600 a reality, all we ask is that we take pride in this parish and renew our faith in it, this project, and kind of jump in. And I know this is going to sound kind of crazy, but join in the fun. It's called solidarity. I'd love to tell all of our benefactors, big and small, that we had 100% participation. Does that make some sense? People want to help and participate in a community that has lots of members who make equal sacrifices, not equal gifts. That's not so important, but equal sacrifices. And if we do, I know we will make this project a reality, but just as importantly, we will also renew and strengthen the spirit of this parish. Now for the second concern, why the big price tag? That's kind of been shared here and there with some of us. Well, inflation for one, but we're not just talking about a simple parking lot being resurfaced. It's going to be rebuilt. There's some underlying infrastructure work we needed to incorporate to meet city code. We incorporated a storm management plan to treat any runoff, and as a result, the plan includes a reconstruction of the drainage system and the creation of biofilters. We don't have to worry about a storm water pond, but biofilters. You can check out the displays in the narthex, and I believe Julie and Jerry Lopez will be there to answer any questions. That added approximately $60,000, believe it or not, to the price tag. We also want to make sure the lighting would be better, more energy efficient, and electrical wire repairs in the coming decade would not require tearing up the blacktop. So we are running conduit for the very first time and purchasing new wiring, new poles, energy efficient lights, and modern controls for the lights in the parking lot. And that did add $40,000 to the cost. So basing myself on the recommendation of our Buildings and Grounds Committee, I think it's an investment that will pay good dividends. And I hope that makes the cost feel more reasonable. If we can raise the money by the end of March, it will keep us on our timeline for receiving all the proxies and permits necessary so we can get this done by this summer, the entire project. Finally, the homily. You know, I know giving money like this isn't easy. So here's how I've done it. You know, I've kind of grown into it in my own way, brought it into my spirituality. So here's how I do it, the theology and the method. First, the theology. I look at all of my giving, and I encourage all of you, and I've always encouraged all my parishioners to look at it as an act of worship. It's part of our tradition. You know, in biblical terms, we call it tithing. Sometimes we refer to it as stewardship. The first example is in the book of Genesis, the very first book of the Bible. It occurred after Abraham miraculously won an impossible battle to save his nephew, which by all rights he should have lost. He knew it was pure gift, a miracle. So when a mysterious priestly figure arrived after the victory, namely Melchizedek, also known as King of Peace, he gave him 10% of the spoils. And through this gift, Abraham really was saying in his heart, this victory is your gift to me, O Lord. So I give this tithe, I give 10% to your representative back to you as a sign of my dependency, my gratitude, and my worship. And are we any different than Abraham when we think of all we've been blessed with? All is pure gift. Even our drive, our energy, our hard work ethic, it's all gift. One parishioner in a former assignment asked me after I talked about this spirituality and this tithing, he said, Father, if I have to tithe 10%, is that before or after taxes? I laughed. I hope Charles hears me out there. He knows who he is. But what I say is just do what the Holy Spirit moves you to do, you know? It's not nailed down in perfect math, but do it with joy. Really see it as a way to show your trust in God and express gratitude. Maybe calculate using your regular income and add your dividends too. Maybe use your pension income and add your Social Security too. I don't know. Pray about it. The most important thing is with joy, give generously. Some can't give 10% at this point in their life, and they shouldn't. I understand. Some can do more, and they should. But think percentage. You know, we really went down the wrong path with pew rent and thinking just a hard set amount of money. Rather, we give according to the Lord has blessed us, you know? Think percentage. You know, some aren't happy with the church right now. And I say to them, just give to some other charitable cause. Hopefully we can be reconciled. But give always, no matter where you are in your journey or your relationship with the church, give from a grateful heart that makes God the source of your security, not money. Worship not just with words, but with deeds and with your money. That's the theology. The method, the one that I've kind of developed, well, each January I budget 10% to give away, even though I don't entirely know to who or what cause it will go. I just know that I'm going to give it away. Right away, I just budget that. Makes it easier, because then when a need presents itself, like a parking lot or a special collection for the Philippines, just hit by a terrible typhoon for which we held a second collection a week or two ago, it just flows more naturally. I'm not upset, I'm not overwhelmed as much. You see, I already know as an act of worship and in solidarity with good causes or with those in need, I'm going to surrender it back to God, the source of all the blessings I enjoy in my life. Makes it easier for me, even joyful at times. And so finally, I just want to close by saying thank you, and I mean that sincerely. Thank you for all the sacrifices. I get embarrassed sometimes how much we ask you for. One time we had 3 collections that were going to end up on one weekend to try to catch up with COVID. I got upset. I said, what are we doing? So I want to just thank you. I know you get overwhelmed. Thank you for all your sacrifices made on behalf of St. Bernadette's over the years. I'm very grateful. Even though I keep asking, I'm very grateful. Let's continue to pray for the success of this project, that we can all do, and for blessings upon our parish, the Thompson Center, the Irish Place, and the Richardson School, all of which will benefit from this important project, or even better yet, that will benefit from this act of worship.